What up, guys? Good evening. Let's discuss this Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, $50 million lawsuit. All right, guys. Well, that's not. Hey, guys, what's up? Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. I want to talk this evening about this Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, $50 million lawsuit where Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife over there in Fairfax County, out here in Virginia. Where do I start with these two? First things first. Why Virginia? A lot of you guys might be asking, right? Why Virginia? Well, Virginia is the Washington Post was written by, if we go back, if we rewind to about back in 2018 when Amber Heard wrote the op-ed in the Washington Post, it had to be written from through the servers that are here in Virginia. So the Washington Post servers are here in Virginia. A few of them are, even though the Washington Post is there in DC. So it had to travel through Virginia to get to Washington DC. So of course, when Depp's attorney reached out to find out if the court would pick up the case here in Virginia, of course, it's a part of Virginia jurisdiction. So that's where we are. That's why the case is here in Virginia, because we do have jurisdiction, because the op-ed was written and all these servers are here in the state or the Commonwealth of Virginia, right? Okay, let's back up a little bit and go back 2015, 7 to 17. These two, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, were married. And of course, to say the least, their relationship, allegedly was up and down, right? It's, through the public eye. And she decided after they had a divorce that she wanted to write an op-ed. Now, even though she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post, she did not name names, right? So of course, Johnny Depp read the op-ed, brought to him by his team. And then he looked at it and realized that, or he felt like it was talking about him. So this create like a whole bunch of rolling ball things where the Sun, the tabloid from England, from the UK, decided to to call him a wife beater. This is, I don't know if you guys know it, but this is detrimental for a career in Hollywood, right? Everything is is image. If you don't have this great image, then no one is going to hire you. We're talking about the famous Johnny Depp from, all of these great Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Who haven't seen them? That's a Disney thing. You know how Disney is. Disney is with the kids, the family, any kind of thing like this. They're going to step out and decide that they don't even want to be a part of it. So what's up, Chilla? Good evening. How are you? So nevertheless, that brought us to where the op-ed was written, and Depp decided to sue, allegedly sue the Sun, which is a tabloid from the UK, and they took the case to UK to the libel court, and of course he lost the case there, right, in 2020. So of course, after he gets back, he decided to sue Amber Heard again because of the op-ed, and decide this time that it's going to be in Virginia. Of course, Amber Heard wanted it to be in California, in the state of California, because they both live in the state of California. That's where they work. That's where everything is at for them. So why bring it to Virginia? But at the same time, Virginia has these rules. It's one of like 10 states or something of the sort, where California, I think, has the anti-slap law, because it has something to do with the whole, the anti-slap, the way it's written. It has something to do with that you can't bring a case, to someone if it has something to do with your First Amendment right. So you go out there and you bring a case against another person, then it's thought to mix with the First Amendment right, because they're speaking and you can't stop someone from speaking in this country. Now, of course, Virginia laws are written a little bit different, so of course that's why they brought the case here to Virginia. Nevertheless, we're here in Virginia. This is day 9, and I've been watching this thing back and forth. I've been watching the testimony from Johnny Depp himself, the actor. going through the steps of the things that. Good evening, Screen Story. How are you, sir? Going through the steps of his challenges with alcohol, his challenges with drugs. He talked about his ex-wife, being taking with the ecstasy or MMND, or taking also all of these different drugs that she mentioned that she was a part of. So their relationship was up and down. It's been up and down. He felt that he lost. Well, his words were, he lost nothing less than absolutely everything. I mean, the guy's a poet, man. He's an actor. I see him out here every day, and I'm watching him on on the stand, and he's just nice and cool, nice and calm behind his glasses, and I'm just like, yo, this guy is just smooth. So he is telling his story. He's an actor. She's an actress. I don't know what we're gonna take from this. Of course, because he sued her for $50 million, and she sued him, a contest sued for 100 million. So this has a few more weeks to go, is what I understand. This is day 9, so it's going to be a journey as far as this one is concerned, between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. So they had a few people on the stand. They had one of the therapists, the psychiatrist, not therapist, they have psychiatrist that was on the stand. She was telling her story. Of course, she was going through the cross-examination also, just like Depp went through the cross-examination. Today I want to just do a live. I want to talk about it. I want to see what you guys think about it. I want to see how, what do you guys feel about, what are your opinions on it as far as Depp is concerned. He's in a situation here where the world is looking at him. This is his career, in the field that he is in. If he's labeled as a woman beater, to the world, no one will want to watch his movie. Or even if one or two people would like to watch his movie, you got to understand that the studios will not want to give him any movie. He said he lost roles, as far as with Pirates of the Caribbean and other movies that I'm pretty sure he could have possibly had. This might be, a career killer for both of them, or even maybe a career saver. Who knows, for one or the other. Lindora Lins, hey, good evening. How are you? Let me at least put my thing here in the chat, guys. So just in case you guys want to jump in, you can do that. And I'm going to give you 1 second, guys. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Let me put that up there. All right, there we go. So I got a link in the chat just in case anyone want to call in. So yeah, now let's continue with this. So like I said, Virginia is one of those 10 states that adhere to these rules, what they call the lexi loci delici. And basically what that mean for Latin is just the place of wrong where the thought was committed. So I think that's the reason why they pick up this case. And that's the reason why they're all involved right now. And as you can see, the cameras are in the courtroom every day, watching what's going on between Miss Heard and Mr. Depp. It is a continuous thing. And of course, the fact that they were able to take it out of California was pretty good, at least for Depp. That's the reason why he wanted it out. I mean, I thought because the fact that he was not named personally for say in the Washington Post op-ed, I thought it'd be one of those cases where he wouldn't have a case. But obviously, because he was married, and the way it was written and the stuff that it was saying, he lost, because other people were also reading into exactly how this happened, between him and Amber Heard. And like he said, he has never hit her. I mean, they played inside these proceedings. They played a lot of the videos, between both of them. The conversation, and they played a lot of the arguing. They read a lot of the text messages. Their whole life is on stage in front of the world to see. Justin M says, Amber's career is over. Yeah, her career might be over, but was it even started? I mean, she wasn't a huge star to begin with, Jasenia. So I'm not sure if it's this is going to make her more popular. This is going to make her popped up even in the eyes of more people around the world. So you have to keep that in mind. Maybe this is good for her career. Who knows? I mean, she walked out the courthouse today smiling. Normally if you feel like a career is going down in the dump, you would not be smiling, is what I think. Remember, I don't know, for a lot of you guys, I didn't know when she came out and wrote, she spoke about this, how she was a victim of sexual violence. But just after listening to this thing, for the last few weeks, exactly the stuff, the evidence between, like when you're listening to the psychiatrist that's talking, you're listening to Depp that's giving his testimony, you understand, you're reading the text messages from him and some friends, and stuff that they're saying about both of them. It's kind of hard to believe that he was in that case. There is no definitive um path to show that he actually abused her, or in the way that there's labeling him as a sexual abuser. We're not sure because she's yet to take the stand, and I'm pretty sure she'll take the stand soon in her defense to talk about exactly what happened. Jasenia says, well, it's over before it even started. Yeah, this might be one of those careers that's over before it's even started, or maybe it's just getting started. Cello says she's a B. Okay, Cello, I got you. No, but I mean, in this case, she's fighting for something that she's never had, because of course, even when you listen to a lot of the fight that they did back and forth, there were testimony from I think that was the lady from Bahamas. She run his, I think her name is Miss Roberts. She run his property in the Bahamas for the last 15 years, and she was saying that she heard the fights back and forth, or she heard these arguments behind the backfield, and even when she was yelling at him saying that he's going to be a third, like some third string actor or something like that. So it was almost like there is some jealousy there, or not. I'm not sure, but I mean, whichever way, it was a fight. Back and forth. It was a continuous. It was a tension. Relationship over the 2 years that they were married. I think they were married from 2015 to 17. So that was a 2 years. A lot of stuff, a lot of people that was around him, they disapproved of some of the stuff that they did. A lot of people said that she wasn't well liked, because she was patting people, allegedly spotting people. She had arguments with people that were not even necessary. So basically, they were saying that she was not the greatest of person as an individual, is what they were saying. So I get it that they said Depp has a history during his examination on the stand. He has a history of being arrested or sued for being drunk. I mean, I get it. He has an alcohol problem. He had an alcohol problem. I get that. But at the same time, it was not enough for you to jump in and said, because if this is allegedly a lie, as far as whether she was beaten or assaulted or whatever the case is, hopefully it's not, because it would just not be cool for you to be telling a lie on the stand. That's why I said I can't wait we can't wait to see her when she take her stance on the stand to talk about, to tell her side of the story, because I've heard his side of the story. I've heard the psychiatrist part, side of the story. I've also heard Miss Roberts' side of the story, which managed the property. I heard Mr. This was yesterday. I heard another guy from UK, and he was also a property manager. They say personal assistant. He's been working for Mr. Depp for a few years. So it's been one of these things back and forth, as far as he's going, they're having these conversations, and it just keeps going and going and going. They talk about Paul Bethany. There's a lot of people that has to come understand, to decide so we can see how this case is going to actually pan out, as far as going forward in this case. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yes, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. If you guys just jumped in on your way in, please remember to hit that like button. Let me see what you guys are saying. Lisa Lyons. Hello, Lisa Lyon. Good evening. Just came in. These are two. These two are so terrible. Yeah, it is. But we actually have the pleasure of, you know, having them in court in Virginia rather than them being in California, because normally, these things go on all the time. Like, you have these cases where one sue the other, or the case goes on where, they settle out of court. And it goes on all the time in California, but we don't hear so much about it because, of course, the rules and the laws fit, perfectly for those individuals that are over there, right? But here, they're in Virginia, and of course, they're in Commonwealth. So the whole spotlight is on the Commonwealth. First, they were in England, and now they're in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So from one to another, and that's most of these people that testify now. During this case, they testified back during the UK case back in 2020, because even this guy Billy King, that is a personal house manager that controls a lot of stuff when they're in town. He was telling his story, and of course, the truth is the truth. When you tell the truth, it's not hard. It doesn't matter how you try to spin it. It's 1 + 1 is always 2. So yeah, that is part of Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, so that was part of his story that he was telling yesterday when he was out there. He was giving his story about what he saw, the houses that was torn up in Australia. It was just like from one thing to another. I can't believe it. I thought they would be more civilized as far as controlling things, and trying to maintain things. Let me see what you guys are saying here. What else you guys are saying? Let me see what else you guys. Hey guys, like I said, the link is in the chat just in case you guys want to jump in. Don't forget, you guys can voice your opinion. You don't have to, but yeah, or just leave it in the chat, whichever one, however you feel comfortable. But you guys can call in if you need to. But like I said, man, it has been a few weeks. It has been a few weeks, just sitting and watching these people going at it from 10 o'clock in the morning, because the judge gets in, and she start these sessions at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're going till 5:30 in the evening. I mean, it's a job in itself. But at the same time, he's fighting for his job. He's fighting for his career. He's fighting for his life in general. He wants to make sure that he's not missing out, on any future movies, because you know how it is. This just sets some form of precedent. When they get out here and they said, hey, he's a wife beater, or hey, he's an abuser, automatically career is down. It starts to drop. Nobody wants to touch you. I mean, look at Will Smith. Will Smith slapped that dude on stage. He wasn't even slapping a woman, and no one wants to touch him right now. So to give you an example, that's just the way it worked, right? So it's the same, and there's so many examples, because even when you go back and look at ball players and tennis players and all these sports players, once you get into some form of abuse, whether it's against a female or a male, it's like a career ender. It tends to start going down and down and down. I mean, just listening to his recording and how she spoke about how she loved this guy, and and they're talking about the knives and don't cut yourself, and they're talking about the drugs, and it is amazing just to see how two people could actually stay together this long, right? So, I mean, do you guys believe? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on it? Let me see. Hold on. Lisa say he's done. I don't know, Lisa. I don't know. I don't know if he's done, because if they can prove that what he's saying is correct, or at least what a lot of these people are saying that are testifying in his behalf, or just testifying to what they saw, not so much as far as his behalf is concerned. We're 9 days into this thing, and so far, we're just hearing from we're hearing from both sides, because of course you got these guys come in, they testify. Today they also had the police officers, from that was called that night, and they're on the force they're 12 years veterans, and they were called in today, and they were asked the question. They were asked about a report that they wrote. They said, hey, they didn't thought there was any abuse that was done to Miss Heard. That's what they were saying. That's what the case, they were playing the video in court today. So if they believe that did not happen, this is so far is looking, in the favor of Johnny. There's a lot of people say, oh, go Johnny, but we want to say go through, right? That's what we want. We want the truth. We're just jumping in here and just seeing what exactly is truth and where where we're going to be. Because I'm telling you, they're going to be, both of these people are even more famous than they were before. But for what good, is this for a great reason that they're famous, for what exactly is one? And why did he even stay with her? Why did he stay with her? He mentioned his father a lot. He spoke about his father, the abuse that he grew up and endure. But why did he stay with her? Why did she stay with him? Right? Because they're not the only two people in the world. So why did she stay with him is the question that I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Or is this case about ego? Is there some kind of ego involved in this case somehow? I don't think so. I think his career depends on this case. I think his career is on the line with this case. So I think that's the reason why he's in the position he's in, and that's the reason why he's actually holding these conversations the way he's holding. Let me see what Lisa's saying. He was great actor, but abusing, no matter who you are, is awful. Lisa, you're right. But like I said, if they can prove that he did not abuse her, then, because remember, you know how it goes, right? There's a left side, there's the right side, and then the truth, and then maybe the truth falls somewhere in the middle, because everyone's truth tend to be slightly different than the actual truth. You tell a story once or twice, and then you see how many times it can change. So abuse is one, but can they prove that he actually abused her or not? because so far we're hearing all these recordings, we're going over the recordings, people are testifying. Of course, more people will come to testify. She will eventually take the stands, I'm pretty sure, and then we'll have a better opinion about exactly how this thing went down, back, what, 5 years ago or so, because remember they were married from 2015 until 2017. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Remember, he has not made no movies lately since all of this has been going on. Yeah, Lisa, but remember, they wouldn't touch him. Disney is the owner of the whole Pirate of the Caribbean thing, right? And of course, you're going through a case like this. Disney has a lot more to lose. They're not going to touch you. They're not going to want to have anything to do with you right now. You have something to do with the court. They just don't want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. I think that's why he hasn't got any movie roles. Maybe that's the reason why she was cut out of the Aquaman movie role too. Who knows? Maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. I don't know if that was part of it or not. I see this guy, Lisa, he's just sitting there in the court. He just relaxed, man. They look at him and they're saying, "Hey, is he asleep?" And then people are like, "Nah, he's not asleep." He's just there. He's just there sitting and listening to the people peacefully. That's what they're saying, that he was serenading himself through the headphones, because I saw him there and he's just not worried. He's behind the glasses and he's just nice and calm, and I'm just like, man, he's behind the glasses like there's sunshine outside. The judge already turned the sunlight off in the courtroom. But nevertheless, let me see what you guys are saying, because this is going to be an interesting case how it ends. It still have a few more weeks to go, so we'll see how that goes. There's always let me see here. There always makes excuses. Well, Lisa, there's always excuses, but we can say there's excuses on both sides when it comes to excuses, because remember, everyone always look for the excuses based on how it affects them, right? The idea is, I'm going to give an excuse. I want to give an excuse that favors me. You're giving an excuse. You're going to give an excuse that favors you. So that's one of the thing. That's one of the thing that we have to keep in mind. Let me see here. Lisa said he's acting. Jason, come on. Hey, Lisa, I asked the question earlier. That's the same thing I said at the first time. When I saw the first time that he went on the stands, Lisa, and he started talking, I am just like, man, this dude is on a roll. Okay. Is he auditioning for a new movie? That's what I was saying. I was just there looking like, just the way he was handling it, Lisa. I was saying the same thing. So I was, because I'm saying these guys are actors, right? They get paid to do this job. He's been acting since the 80s, right? That's like 40 years old. It's like 40 years ago. I'm sorry, 40 years ago. He's been in this business for a minute. He made one of those comments in the court when they asked him a question, when he spoke about, it's like, boxing, it's like your hands are too short, to be boxing with God, so you can't reach. So he's like a poet. He's just his demeanor. He's just there calm. He got his mug in his hand, and he is just a cool cat. So I get it that he's an actor, right? But remember also that Amber Heard is an actress also, right? Because I saw her sitting over there in the court, and she is just looking, quite pitiful at the same time. She's looking at the jurors. The jurors are there looking at her. She's just there, not saying a word, just relax. She just have this look on her face, and she's just taking her notes, They're actors, right, Lisa? They're actors. We know that. Let's see what else you guys are saying. There were pictures, but they took them down. There were pictures where, Lisa? Where were the pictures? They said they took them down. Let me see. Alejandro Galvez says, I heard that she said that she still loves him. She said in an Instagram post, I have always had a love for Johnny, but it pains me to okay, leave in the past one. So this is what Alejandro is saying, right? So it pains me to relieve that the details of our past in the front of the world. You know what? It is something, Alejandro. It really is, because we love this guy as an actor, and we heard all of these recordings when she was saying that she loved him. Come over here. I want to be with you. I love you. I don't know that. And then at that time he was saying, hey, I want out. I was tired of the abuse. He even spoke. Remember, he spoke about when they were going out, he had to get a separate hotel room just so he could be in that hotel room, so things would be calm, right? Not the up and down, the up and down, the up and down. But she did spoke about it. I heard the recording that they played in court, that she spoke about how she loved him, and and then, oh, don't do this, and I'm here for you. So there is a continuous, but what kind of love is that, Alejandro? I don't know if you want a love like that, man. That's tough love, super tough love, if you ask me. Cello is saying, look like she was an abuser. Okay, she's a manipulating person. But like I said, Cello, she's an actress, so she might just be auditioning for a role. You know what I'm saying? They're good at doing that stuff. So like I'm just not saying just her, right? I'm saying both of them are actors. So you never know. Alejandro says that that woman is crazy. That's what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying she's crazy. She got this look on her face. I can't judge based on the look because, like I said, she's an actor. She's an actress. So I don't want to be judging her based on the look on her face. But she is just there. She is homed in. She is a part of whatever is going on. She's just locked in, into this whole thing and what's going on, in this case. Let me see what these guys say. Um, Jacinta says, even if they prove that she didn't abuse her, okay, his image is still tainted. Well, Jacinta, his image is going to be tainted. But if you remember, if you can go back and remember even the whole Iron Man story, right? Robert Downey Jr. He wasn't accused of any abuse or anything like that, right? But his image was tainted for a while. But as we human beings are, we tend to forget. After a little while, after the court says, hey, this or that, or if the court says, okay, you're innocent, Mr. Depp, and you're guilty, Miss, then what's going to happen? It's going to be a little while. Everything will calm down, and then after a while, we'll forget about it. We'll go back and watch his movies again. We'll go back and watch her movie again. And I'm telling you, this is going to be it. This is notoriety. Because that's why I asked, is it ego? Is this about ego? Why they're in court? You have two people are in court. The judge should just take a hammer and just to both of them and say, go home and sit down and work out your problems. Why is it that you guys are in here in court talking about 50 million here, 50 million or 100 million there? It is just I don't know, man. Like I said, it's wild. It's wild between those two. They can prove that he is an abuser, but some people will always believe. Yeah, just saying. Some people will always believe that will never change. Let me see. Well, Lisa says um they were somewhere. I forgot. But I saw her face scared. Well, you should see her in the court, Lisa. You should see the way she was looking in the court. I mean, I don't know if she was scared. I don't know if you call that scared, but she was just homed in. She got her face nice and serious, and she's looking at a way. It's there's an image in the court that you're looking at her, and you will feel sorry for her, right? You look at the same time, you look over the other side and you look at Depp, and he's just calm and relaxed, he's just there homed in under his dark glasses, and it's just like he's just in another world. He's just there focused, eyes somewhat closed, or lowered down. He's just hammered in. He's not even, it doesn't look like he's even that worried, is is what it seems like to me, for a guy that lost the case in England, right? But it's hard to prove cases against tabloid, right? It's hard to get proof cases against tabloid. Anyone takes a tabloid to the court because of the freedom of speech thing. It's kind of hard to prove any case against a tabloid. So it's tough to go up against them, because if not, that sets a precedent. Going forward, you start breaking the blocks little by little, start breaking down free speech, and then before you know it, there's no free speech. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Lisa says she fought back, of course. Yes, she sure did. Yes, she sure did. Lisa, I'm waiting for her testimony. I'm waiting for her testimony just to see what she has to say. I think I'm going to jump back on here and do another live when her testimony drop, because I am just waiting. I'm going through the motion. I'm waiting, just to see the day that she get up on the stand and start talking, when they start cross-examining her, when his lawyers start to ask her some question, and then her lawyers start to ask the question to make her look good. I just want to be there. I want to see that part of it. It should be fun to look at. Should be fun to look at. Alejandro says toxic love. There's a lot of toxic love out there, man. We can't get over it. Lisa says people stay together even abusing one another. Yes, very true. It is people stay together abusing one another. People stay together abusing even when there are children or no children involved. So yeah, you're right about that. That is but in this case, man, like we don't have too many cases where the male, is a victim of domestic abuse. Not too many cases. There are more cases where there are females that are abused. That's why it's so hard to believe a lot of times that people are saying, oh, he's an abuser, oh, he did this, oh, he did that, and because he's the bigger actor. So I think it's one of those things. But after we go through the recordings, all of this recording that these people did, I can't believe they put their personal life unrecorded on devices, and put it out there for the world to see. It's like just watching this whole ping pong thing collapsing around you, man. It's amazing. It's amazing that they actually went through, by putting all that stuff on the devices and put it out in front of the people. Let me see what else you gotta say. I meant scared. Oops. Lisa said I meant scared. Yeah, no problem, Lisa. Yeah, so there's so many questions, as far as this case is concerned. I'm pretty sure there are a lot more questions than there are answers. Pretty sure the world is watching, just to see how this is going to pan out. After watching, Bill King yesterday, the House manager from the United Kingdom, after he testified and spoke about what he saw, right? Because he used to be the manager there, or he's the manager there that took care of the houses, like when Mr. Depp is there or Miss Heards is there in England, and they are like they have some form of event that they're doing, or maybe a movie that they're doing there. They're taking care of houses and making sure that they're receiving all the attention they need, that he's controlling all the food. So after hearing him spoke yesterday, and then he spoke about how they invited him to Australia. And then he spoke about the incidents in Australia and how the house was destroyed and how the argument in the Aussie, and how he found Mr. Depp finger, the tip of his finger, downstairs. He testified under oath yesterday in the court, regarding all of that stuff. So the guy that was actually there that found the piece of fingertip, he was there talking yesterday, Mr. King. Now, what I would like to know, why don't they just, bring in a forensic team that can, make it for once and for all, so we can understand whether that fingertip was removed, by like a sharp object, like at high velocity, or was it just, very slow? So that would basically break down a lot of what, all of the guessing that we're doing. That, okay, did she really throw a bottle and did the bottle really chop part of his finger off, or was it, just another small piece that they said, or was it a sharp object like a knife? I would like to see them bring in some forensic, excuse me, guys. I would like to see them bring in some forensic professional just to break that down. Because if we're already here in the court of law in Virginia, they already flew 3,000 miles across the country to come to the East Coast to have this court, because the servers, that the Washington Post print stuff on, is here in Virginia, so it automatically puts us in jurisdiction. If that happened already, this should be the least that they can do, is bring in a forensic team to check as far as the fingers are concerned, and why his fingers was severed, why a small part of his fingers was severed, and then Mr. King found it on the floor downstairs and had to rush it to the hospital. But he testified about that. And then today, just hearing Dr. Shannon Curry, testify and talk about how she is borderline, she has this whole borderline personality disorder. They were just going through this process, right? And how her team was contacted, and when she went to do the diagnostic. So with the diagnosis and, the symptoms that she go to, and the whole clinical interview and the process. And I mean, they broke all of this stuff down. So it would be nice to see the same on the other side when her time come to go understand. Will they be able to break this down? Will they have, a team like this? Will they be bringing in someone to show why his fingers were severed? Because it doesn't matter how you spin it. If somebody's finger was cut off, that's abuse. If it was not cut off by that, I mean, even if it's cut off by that same person, I think the law will find something in there to charge you for abuse. So that's what I'm saying. If they could bring in a forensic and check that, that would be one of the interesting thing to actually share some light on this case, and maybe we'll look at this thing a little different than how we're looking at it right now. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. So yeah, so that's what. So her disorder, man, it's something, but of course the defense is going to start to is going to try to spin it a little bit differently, talk about her emotions, and of course that's what they're there for, right? They're there. One is hired by her and the other is hired by Mr. Depp, so they're there to tell the story, but I mean, the doctor really had a story to tell, and just hearing her speak about what she have noticed. And then after the doctor got off, just to hear the police officers, the whole testimony from the police officers, that testified during the case back, the one that happened in England, where he sued the tabloid, the Sun. And of course he lost that case. So it was one of those, to just to be able to listen to that conversation and hear these professional talk, and just to realize what it is that's going on, and said, wow, it is amazing to see these two people, sitting on the stand, and to hear other people, just not both of them, but there are other stories that are involved. There are other people that are talking. There are other people that are part of this whole conversation. And yeah, professionals are not, people that have gone to school for many years, 15 years, people that have, are professional in their field, people that are telling the story, they know their livelihood is on the line in front of the world to see. So yeah, it's amazing. It truly is amazing. Lisa, where you at? You jumped in and jumped out. There you go. What's up, Lisa? Good evening. How are you?
I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
I
Do I
can
have my
hear you.
mic down?
Probably, Lisa, because I can hear you loud and clear, but you can't hear me. Now you're muted. Now you're not.
Uh,
Still can't hear me?
I'm gonna
I,
come back in.
okay, do that. I can hear you, but don't do that. I can hear you. Yeah. So yeah, and that's exactly, man. That's the breakdown of this whole case, and just the fact that we know that there are people out there that goes through these things on a daily basis. Of course, they're not big actors and actresses like these two are. So we do know that this happened. That this is people reality. This is someone reality out there. Every day on the road. And I'm just telling you that it's at the same time it's sad to see it. But I don't know. Just looking at the way the actors, the way I'm looking at Johnny Depp today, I was saying, man, I don't know if he's Jack Sparrow or he's Johnny Depp, but the guy is just calm as ever. He did a movie a few years ago where he buried the movie presumed that he buried his wife in the backyard, and he was eating corn from that backyard. I mean, he had a look similar to that when I saw him in a court. I don't remember the name of that movie. Anyone remember? Please let me know. Put in the chat and let me see if you guys remember that movie. But I don't remember the name of that movie. But that was an interesting movie just to see him today and how he sat there and he was just so calm and the way he was doing it. I don't know if he was Jack Sparrow or Johnny Depp. So that's what he just looks too relaxed under those glasses. It just got me this. Ah, man, it just got me thinking, something else. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Okay. Felipe, what's up, man? Good evening. How are you? I see you. Thanks for jumping in today. In my opinion, the love he felt for her made him lose his reason and character to take his place. Yo, Felipe, you like this poet tonight, man? What's the deal? So you're feeling the love. You're saying that the love is what put him into a situation like this, right? This is how he ends up where he's losing his mind. So this is another Will Smith thing, Felipe, because last week, 2 weeks ago, after the Oscar, we had this thing with Will Smith, right? And I saw even Chris Rock mother was talking about it. The same thing I was saying on my live, that he slapped that dude just because of the way his wife looked at him. So you're saying the love right now for Depp is the love from Depp to Amber, is the reason why, is the reason that his character is taking place. I got you, Felipe. You're like I said, you're like a poet tonight. You can hear me, Lisa?
I can hear you perfect. Sorry about that. I have
No
my mic
worries.
down.
No worries, Lisa. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you guys?
Let's start out first. How was the trip?
Tired.
Ah,
I actually went to my trip and I got a toothache so bad. I mean, my face is swollen and it was just hurting throughout the whole trip. So it was a beautiful trip. Because you know what toothache is like bad. So I had a problem with my tooth. So I got a
okay.
check today and I had a infection. So I'm good. I'm taking pills now.
Sorry
So
to hear that.
thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry to hear that. But you said the trip
How
was
are
good, though.
you?
In general, the trip was good.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain, Lisa. I'm doing good. Life is great. We're healthy. What else in life can you ask for? You got these two people out in Fairfax County. They're fighting over $50 million or $100 million respectively. They got life, they're healthy, but look what they're fighting over. So I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, how's the weather out there? I heard it's still chilly.
Still chilly, 60 degrees, 65 degrees. I don't know. I don't think we're getting any summer this year, man. I'm telling you. I feel like we're going to get into this spring weather slightly, with the pollen once it rides out. Maybe we'll just go back to winter. Who knows?
Come to
I'm starting.
Florida. Come back to Florida.
I am telling you, Florida is starting to look real nice. I was just telling a friend of mine last week that Florida is starting to look real nice again.
It's like 82 right now. It's
Of
warm.
course. Of course. Anywhere you
Beautiful.
are in the state of Florida is going to be 82. Even if
Um,
you're down in Georgia, it's pretty nice. But yeah, Florida is definitely looking real nice as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. Well,
Talk to me.
anyway, that
Hmm.
Johnny Depp. I don't know. I loved Johnny Depp to death, until I start hearing about abusive and things like that. And like I was saying in the chat, a lot of people, I know a lot of people even around me that abuse each other. Women, men, women do it too, not just men. And the men protect themselves, but then the men look bad, you know, because the man is always the abuser, they say, right?
Of
But
course.
it's toxic. Like somebody said in the chat, it's toxic love. They stick together, and it's like the next day everything's fine. I'm like, what is going on? No, he just punched you, and you punched him, and knives come out, and you cut him. They don't want to go to the hospital because the hospital's going to find out what happened. Because you can get locked up for that. That's a felony.
Yes.
So
Yes.
with my job, there was a lot of those things going on. A lot of people were protecting each other. Oh, they don't want to say who did this or who started. But you know what they do in Florida? They lock up both people no matter what. No matter what.
It should be like that. It
Hmm.
should be like that. You call the police, lock both of them up, charge both of them, and
Yeah,
then they will learn to be responsible. That you guys are adults, right? You're not kids anymore. And then if you guys need to separate, you guys will separate. If the relationship is not working, you go there, and that's it.
exactly. Exactly. So I know that for a fact because like two doors down, they had a big fight. The woman was walking down the street barefoot. I'm like, was she okay? The cops came. Both of them got locked up. She had bruises all over her, and the guy was still um, disrespectful to the cops. F you, screw you, get out of my house, get out of my lawn. They both got locked up no matter what, even though she was all scarred up. He didn't even have a scratch on him. But that's what they do
Interesting.
here. They fix the
Interesting.
situation. Someone
Yeah.
has to speak up about each other. They're both going
Correct.
to get locked up. Felonies coming if you don't speak up. And if you're together, if you have a PFA or whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to get locked up too. And women
Yeah.
always have PFAs and then let the guys back in or vice versa. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. And they take this as a joke. And that's when things happen. People get killed. Someone gets killed in a house, or
Sure.
the kids get killed also. They take the kids, they take the whole family with them. It's
Listen,
one of those
I don't
things.
know what happened between these two though, because there is a nice letter, and he read it in court that Depp wrote to Amber Heard's mother. Speaking about his love for her and how she picked him up as an old drunk, and how without her, and it was just this nice emotional letter. It's a beautiful letter, very well written by him. Like I said, the guy is a poet, right? I know he's an actor,
Right.
but I'm telling you, he's an actor, and musician, and normally musicians are always poets, right? You know
Right.
how it is. But I'm
Exactly.
telling you, his letter, what happened? Where did we go from that letter, that love, that admiration that you had for this woman, to now you're at this stage where you wanted, he wrote in a text message to like Bethany and some friends of his that he's talking about similar to burning the witch at the stake or something like that. So you're going from exactly one side to the opposite side of the world in like a middle of couple of
Yeah.
in a couple
Yeah.
of seconds.
I saw it somewhere. I was watching TV one day, and I did see pictures of her scarred. I wasn't saying scared. I said scared, and then I spelled it right. Scarred.
God.
She's
Okay.
scarred. She had a lot of scars in her face, and I know what happened with his finger or whatever. I did
Mhm.
hear something about she did use a knife. That's what I heard,
A
and there
knife
was a
to
lot of
sever his
things.
finger.
Right, exactly. There was a
Okay.
lot of things taken down because they didn't want to go against each other, and they got back together. Remember,
I
and
remember.
then all of a sudden things start happening.
Sure.
John Depp was in a lot of drugs. She was too.
She was
So,
too.
um, I heard something about he was cheating on her, and he's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Everybody. I mean, he was the number one actor. I thought.
He
You
was.
know, like he was the badass.
Yeah, he
you know,
was. Yeah,
John Depp was the badass pirate and in other movies
sure.
also. And he had a lot of women around him. And I think she was very jealous. And, jealousy plays a factor in this also. And I think they're
Sure
hiding a
does.
lot of things. And things are going to come out, but I don't think everything's going to come out the truth. The only one that knows the truth is them, you know.
It's both of
It's,
them, right?
exactly. You
But
know.
man, your life is, I mean, I get it. They're actors, right? They're actors, so their life is
Mhm.
already, out there in the world. But
Mhm.
negative press on a job and a career like they have is not always the best. Like I
Yeah.
said, they can overcome, no doubt about it, they can overcome it, right? Because Robert Downey Jr., there's many actors in the past that overcome it. Will Smith eventually will overcome his.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. We Americans, or we as people, we tend to forget things. The hard drive tends to erase a lot faster than we want it to. As we get
Right.
older, we tend to forget that, oh, you know what, that happened. You know what? I actually like him. I'll still
Mhm.
want to watch him. He's
Yeah.
funny. Let's
Yeah.
forgive him. Let's just move on. Oh, he didn't do anything. He didn't kill anyone. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen.
So let me ask you a question. Just asking a question.
Drop the
So
question.
if you find out that he abused her, he was beating the crap out of her, blah blah blah, everything comes out, will you still watch him?
I'd like to go to the courthouse and kick his butt myself. I'm telling you, there should be no man. I don't like people putting their hands on other people. Here in our
Mhm.
house, my wife always tell the kids, no hands on each other. Because if you
Right.
have brothers hitting brothers or sisters hitting sisters, after a while it gets really, really abusive. You know what I'm saying? So we don't even
Exactly.
do that. We don't even play that game. So like I
Mhm.
said, I would go kick his butt myself.
Mhm. Will you watch him?
No, will I watch him?
Would you still watch
Pro-
him?
I listen. I probably would just stay away from his movie for a while, but like everyone else, I'm pretty sure after a while we will slowly start going back in to start seeing his stuff again. It happens,
Yeah.
and I'm not immune from it like anyone else. It's just the way it happens. I'm pretty sure I would just stay away from it for a while, from his movies for a while, and after a while in the future, I'll go back and probably watch one or two of his movies, and vice versa. Let's talk about her then, Lisa.
I
If
don't like
that's
her.
the case,
I
playing devil's
really don't like
advocate,
her.
would you
I
go
don't
back
like her
and watch
movies.
her?
I will watch him instead of her. If
she
I found
listen.
out
She
he
was
was
never an
being
A-list
abusive,
actor from the beginning, Lisa.
it's hard because if he was being abused by if he was abusing her, I know she's an abuser also, but I think maybe she was an abuser because she was protecting herself, right? If you get hit, you're gonna get hit right back. And things
Okay,
happen in life.
sure.
You pick up something, an object, this guy puts you in the face and you don't want to tell the cops, you don't want to tell people, you don't want your business out there because you have money, you're famous, and a lot of people hide that. A lot of stars hide that because they don't want to tell one another or have that person locked up. For example, I'm not trying to get off course, but the rapper, the one that got shot in the foot. Now she's saying all these different stories before, and now she's coming out speaking on. She just did I think, an interview with
Is that Megan? Are we talking about Megan Thee Stallion?
yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. She did it.
Okay.
Did you hear the interview? I
Yeah, I heard
heard
part
part
of
of
it.
the interview. Yeah, I heard
Yeah, I
part
heard
of the
part of
interview.
it.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't say things before because she was scared to lock him up because she really loved him, but he was messing around too much with this person or that person. He was basically disrespecting her face, if they were lovers, but she was
Okay.
hiding it. But it
Got
all
you.
came out. And now she don't want nobody to know because she was coming up at that time. She was coming up. Now she's
Sure.
telling the truth, maybe because she don't want, maybe because I even hear online that he's like, rah, 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 screw you. I didn't do nothing to you. He's playing around. But you did shoot her. Somebody had to shoot her. Someone had to do it.
I got it.
So
I get
who
it.
is going to tell the story? It's the
Sure.
person who it happened to, right? And the guards saw it. The security guards don't even want to speak about it. Why not? I
Another
don't know.
form of abuse. Another form of
Yeah,
abuse. That's what we're talking about right now is abuse,
exactly.
straight back and forth. I mean,
And
tell me
talking verbally, hitting, smacking, that's abuse. Even
of
when you
abuse.
speak to someone in an abusive matter, that's abuse
Of course.
because it will mentally mess you up. Like, you
Of course.
know, when I was a little girl, they used to call me a cow. because I had a big nose, and I'm like, thinking that from, and it stood with me, But as I got older, I ignore it because I'm older now, mature. But it still hurts when people say things to you. You know what I mean? And it is
Yeah.
what it is. But
But
people are
whether verbally, emotionally, or physically, it's all abuse. And in the world
exactly.
that we're living in today, where mentally it is tough, especially with the
Mhm.
screens and what people are saying today.
Oh,
These days, people are hiding behind the screens and talking about people, and there are people that it is affecting them, mentally, as like they're looking down at the words. These actors, same thing. Actresses, same thing. They look
yeah,
down and see what people are saying about them, negative.
yeah,
These
yeah.
words are like alive, and it's like they're sticking them, like the words are sticking them, and they can't believe,
Hmm.
because of course they've had these career for many years, and they've
Right.
never seen anything like this where people were actually talking about them or to them negatively. People are always excited to see them. Hey, Lisa, tell me something. Do you see the way she dressed in court? Why is she dressing like a villain? Why is she dressing like, almost like how Depp is dressed?
I think she's trying, as a woman, me looking at that picture, I think she's trying to be innocent. Like it
Um,
looks more innocent to the courts. Like, oh wow, she's not dressing like a whore. She's not dressing trash. She's not showing boobs. She's not showing. You know what I mean? It's classy. It's kind of like a villain too, but it's more like a respect to the court and the judge. Because if you come in with jeans and holes in your jeans and your boobs sticking out or hoop
mhm.
earrings, that's defense. That's the disrespect to the panel, to the people in the courts, especially the judge. I always learned because I was in court many times as being an officer also because I was witness a lot of things when I used to go to people's houses. And you have I had a uniform, but when I was doing plain clothes, you have to dress a certain way. It depended what I
Sure.
was doing, but you have to have respect for the judge. You cannot dress disrespectful because then you're going to look like trash, and then
But she's
they're going to look
I'm
like
not
you
saying
like the
she's
trash.
But she's not. I'm not saying she's. You can. There's another way you can dress and don't look like Johnny Depp. Because I'm looking at all these parodies and I'm like, wow, look at how she dressed. Like every day he comes out with one suit, and the next day she comes out with a suit similar to the one he had on the day
Yeah,
before. So I'm like,
yeah.
what's the deal with that? Is she mimicking the way he's dressed, or what's the deal?
I think so. I think she's mimicking the way. I think she just try to. I'm going to win. But I don't know. It's iffy who's going to win. I think she's going to win because she's a woman, and a lot of people. Those pictures, I'm telling you, there's pictures that I saw her like messed up. Even though that happened to his finger, she was probably protecting herself. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Something's going to come out that you're going to be like, oh my god, what happened? You know. But I think he was messing around, and she just got jealous, and things start happening. Hey, what are you doing on your phone? Women look at phones and they see things. You know what I mean? So it's a jealousy factor, and then they start fighting, and one thing lead to another, from words to this to that, and then oh, don't tell anybody, and then people start seeing it, like you said the guy came in court and started talking about it as a witness. People do see things, but it's up to them to talk about what really happened. And I don't think they're going to tell on each other the truth. I don't think they're going to tell the truth about each other, honestly, because I think they still love each other. Don't you think?
Well, listen, even after, you have to be really in love, like Felipe was saying right here, right? In his opinion, how he felt this love for her, right? But you have to really be in love, because for you to have a restraining order against you back in 2016 and you
Right.
still go visit this woman, you are crazy. I wouldn't walk I wouldn't walk 2,000 feet near, close to you, because remember,
Exactly.
the
Right.
court, just one police just have to hear, oh, you were in the same space with her, and that's it. It's a wrap.
That's
You're
the
in
key.
jail
You're locked
and you're
up.
there for a
Yeah.
while.
Oh, definitely, because you're violating your PFA. The PFA is to protect you,
There you
not for
go.
you. You can't talk to the family members, friend, no one. Phone, it doesn't matter. No letters, nothing. If they find out, those people can get locked up, and that person also. But they gave her the PFA for a reason. Remember
Sure.
that. They
Sure. Of
always
course.
have to give a person a PFA, you have to have some type of proof of scarring and some type of physical damage to your face or your body. This is why they gave her the PFA. They have those pictures out there. I'm
Lisa,
telling you.
explain to us what exactly the PFA, what does it stand for? For a lot of us that doesn't know, what is the order exactly?
Okay. A PFA is basically a protective from abuse.
Okay.
When you are being abused and then you go to the office, to the courts, you will ask them for protection from abuse, stating that, oh my God, this guy my husband just beat my ass. Look what happened to me. They see the scars. As long as they see the scars and they see that you're physically abused, sometimes when you don't have scars and you just to mess with a man, because women do that just to mess with them, protect them from abuse, it goes against the man. That man is not allowed to come near that woman's house, call her, nothing at all whatsoever. And if they do find out, that person gets arrested. Now, if he comes in the house, they both get arrested because she violated and he violated both. That's a protective from abuse. That's protecting a person from abuse. That's what it is.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lisa. All right. Well, there
You're
you
very
go.
welcome.
So you do have to provide proof, just to the courts so they can see exactly what is going on. So you can't just go up and make up a story.
Oh well, some okay. For example, you can go to the courts and you could have got slapped in a like a slap. A woman takes that seriously. Some women don't play. They're like, oh, I'm getting a protective abuse. They don't tell the man. They go get the protection from abuse. They have a recording. Some women bring recordings, some women bring videos. That's it. You're done. You're getting that protection from abuse. And especially if you're scarred physically, then definitely you're going to get one. But if you don't have no story to back it up, they're going to talk to the man also.
Okay.
I had a job that I had to talk to physically. I dealt with protection from abuse, the men and the women, and it was terrible. Think that I was going to talk to the victim and they're dead.
Ah.
Killed him. Went right in the house, shot the kids, shot her, and next thing you know, I'm hearing the address. I'm like, wow, what the hell happened? I didn't even interview them because he already
Mm,
knew he was going to be served because
gotcha.
it comes through your phone. Sometimes it comes through your phone, especially if she gives the phone number to him, it will come up that sometimes they don't want to tell you you're being served. You will get served. A cop will come to your house, bang on that door, or go to your job. It's embarrassing. Or go to the set where you're at. And I think that's where he got. I found out he got served. He was doing
Yes.
the movie, and he got
Sure.
served at the set, and everybody saw that. That's why everybody knew his business. John
Of
Depp.
course.
He
Of
got
course.
served
Yeah, I heard
at
that.
the set. Yes.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
I can tell you something though. There's some pros and cons to this whole story, right? The fact that let's say this goes in Depp's case, right, and he win this case, right, for hypothetical, right? This would set a precedent for the whole industry because now Virginia would have set a precedent, that people can actually sue in one of these states that are outside of California that are, looking at the laws differently, right? They have,
mm,
it's the same laws, the anti-slap laws, but the California, the way they curtail the law it's different from the way Virginia does it. Like if you slap someone and you talk about it, that Virginia doesn't automatically jump in and say, well, it's protecting your First Amendment rights or whatever the case is. You still has a case. California will easily throw it out. So it's one of these things that if he win here in Virginia, it will set precedents for future case, right? And
right.
if he lose, this is automatically a career killer. And it will set also that people will not think about flying across the country to come pick up a case here in Virginia because they would have realized that it's not even worth it. You're going to go to Virginia, you're going to waste plane fuel, even though, excuse me, even though a lot of those guys, I'm pretty sure they're not even thinking about plane fuel or whatever the case is. They just want to get the case out. This is to just publicize it across the globe so everyone can see what's going on. And then if he win, it's going to be a cherry on the cake. But whichever way you look at this, it's the wife beater thing is bad for his career. The domestic abuse is bad for his career. That's the reason why he sued the Sun, the tabloids from England. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? But this
Right.
case is going to set precedent, whichever way you look at it. There's going to be a precedent set here, based on if he win or if he lose.
Right. But it's gonna
It's
be
not about the 50
iffy.
million.
It's gonna be kind of iffy because that PFA is gonna come up. And the PFA is going to come up with the pictures that they took because when you do that PFA, they take pictures of the victim, front, back, side, whatever.
Mhm.
And when they get served, also, the pictures are also, it's kept in a file. When a cop comes to the house, they give them 5 minutes to pack up. That's it. You don't come out, you're getting locked up
Okay.
automatically. You have to
Okay.
leave once they give you a PFA. But I think that's going to go against him, that PFA, the protection from abuse.
Look at
Yeah,
what Cribby 46 is saying. He says you can make up story just as long as you stand there and cry, right? He says crying, but as long as you stand there and cry.
absolutely.
That's what you're saying, right? So you can actually
Ab-
make up a story
Oh,
and then
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can right now, if I ever just say I had somebody and somebody I was mad because he cheated on me or something happened. I'm like, really? He's like, well, I did it. So what? The attitude. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get his ass. Okay. And I go get that
Well,
protected from abuse just to mess with him. Oh, look, he did to me. And you can scar yourself too. Women
well,
scar
that's
themselves.
what I wanted you to answer. I want you to answer Kathy question here because she was a former cop, guys. So that's why I'm asking the question because she would know all of this stuff, and that's what Kathy's asking right there. If she inflicted wound on herself, you can do that and still get a PFA, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
I worked, like I said, Jason, I worked for the prisons and I was a sergeant and then I became a cop and I became highway patrol and I went to the FBI undercover. So I did a lot with my life and I know it's so much danger and so much things out there. And they also put the kids involved. That's the saddest thing. If the father hits the child, you can get a protector from abuse because
Mm,
you are in that home beating up the children or raping or whatever you do. That's a protector from abuse. At that point, a detective will get involved heavily, and that means that person is not to come in that house at all until court.
okay.
Until court, no if and buts. So
Huh.
you have a lot of, and you know what? A lot of women drop it. They don't show up in court. The
Uh,
PFA's there. They're going to court. The woman don't show up. The guy gets sky free, but he beat her up. It's a true story, but they're back together again. And then
no,
again, it happens 2 years later. Wait a minute, weren't you just? And they have the transcripts and everything. Wait a minute, you did a PFA 2 years ago. What is going on? But you have to give that person the PFA again. And
got
but
you.
they will warn her. They will warn her. If you violate that PFA and you don't come to court, if you do it again and again and again and again, that's a violation. Also, they can
Okay,
lock you up too because you're taking
okay.
advantage of the system and taking advantage of the situation. You're wasting our time, detectives, to do what we have to do, and you're not protecting yourself because you're not showing up in court. What happened? So, and then all of a sudden she gets killed. Boom! It happens all the time.
Ah,
It's
okay.
sad.
And then the system start to blame itself about why this is happening. But it's kind of hard to police people, grown people, when they want to be together, right? Because
Exactly.
can the state pick up back the PFA if the person doesn't show up in court? No, right? That's not
Absolutely,
possible.
yes. The state can pick up. It depends how harsh it is. Like if she got stabbed, you know what I mean? If it's a stab wound and she went to the hospital and it's stitches, the cops will come to the hospital. They will interview her while she's in the hospital, take pictures, blah blah blah, and then she could be like, I don't want to lock him up. She don't show up. Boom, the state will take over because the state is saying this is a serious crime. You stabbed her. You stabbed her through almost the heart, say for example. So things like that with weapons, especially with weapons, and women have gotten shot in their foot or their arms and they come in PFA and they let it go. The state takes over. Oh, definitely the state takes over towards that person. And because they have to have a public defender, and the DA gets involved, the district attorney don't play. They will have
Gotcha.
they don't, most of the times. Honestly, it's not out there, but 83% of the time they do win because
Check
it's
this out, Lisa.
this.
Let's do this, right? Let's look at this. Here, this is a civil penalty, right? This is a civil case.
Mhm,
$50 million is a civil case, but
mhm.
there's abuse involved. Isn't abuse some form of criminal case in there somewhere? Why is it civil? Why are we looking at it here in the state of Virginia, and why is it civil and not a criminal case?
Because she's basically one is they want the money. It's the money. It's the money part. That's what I don't understand. Because they're
Okay,
going to go back together. It's the money part of it. She's not suing towards that PFA she had and toward maybe I think what I heard, because he didn't get locked up. Remember that. But the PFA is still there with the pictures. And they're going to bring that up and say, hey, this is, even though it's it's not a, it depends how they take how it depends how the judge takes it. If he wants to
Okay.
bring that PFA in, or he doesn't. And if he does bring the PFA in, and she's going to have to talk about her injuries. Him also, he didn't do a PFA on her, even though he got
Okay.
his cut off. You know what I mean?
Sure. He got his
So
finger cut off.
he didn't want to get her in trouble. But
Okay.
remember, he had a PFA against him. It counts first. The first
Okay.
PFA counts for the no matter what. Everybody always going to look at that first PFA, and they're going to say, "Oh, she was probably protecting herself. That's why he got his finger sliced." But
Okay.
it's just about money at this point. It's not a crime. They're not. She's not trying to do a felony towards locking him up that way. She's not trying to do that.
Understand.
I don't know why. If that's the case,
Understand. Catherine Galvis is saying, I have a friend who survived 17 stab wounds. You saw that I just put it up a while ago and kicked in the head and didn't want to press charges, but the state picked it up. Now, what state was she in, Kathy, or he? If
that's
what state was that? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure it depends on the states and how fast states picks up. Because some states are more relaxed than others. In Virginia, it's they're quick to send someone to jail. That for sure. They're more strict. The whole Commonwealth and making their own rules and all this other stuff. Oh, she's saying is Virginia. So that
honestly,
was an interesting case.
honestly, Jason. A lot of states are doing it. They're going to go boom, boom, boom fast. It depends on the crime. You think somebody going to lay back low and because someone just got stabbed 17 times and you come in, you're going to, that person that got stabbed 17 times and they go get that PFA or tell, they're going to get all locked up automatically. It's a weapon. They used the weapon 17
Okay.
times. And it's story. I can tell you horror stories that you would not believe. People that was heads taken off, fingers taken off, hands, arms, just all kinds of things. They don't want to press charges, and they're back in love with that person, and and they go to the hospital and say, "Oh, I fell, and I fell in a forklift, like you know what I mean." They make up stories. The
Yeah.
story sounds horrendous, and we're like, really? We know it's not true, but that's the victim. That's their story to tell. But that's their
Okay.
story to tell in court. That's how they win or not. And if you lie, defamation, oh, forget it. You're going. They're going for you for a felony also, especially if you lie, make up a story, and they find out. You
Yeah.
know, and sometimes they have witnesses on the side they don't even know. The person don't even know. The witness comes out in the court, and you're like, where the hell did she come from? The neighbor, came out, called the cops on the sideline, say, I saw it. And that's a sideline kick, for the courts, the DA to win. And it happens all the time.
That's
It's
what I think this thing will bring some light on the whole abuse, as far as whether emotional, verbal abuse, or even physical abuse. I think that's what this will bring in. It'd be
right.
interesting
It
to
is.
see how this thing pans out at the end, because if he was abused and for some reason they can't find any evidence as far as that she was abused, but I'm telling you, if they're in a court, she's the defendant, so there's going to be some evidence. They're going to find some evidence. It'll be interesting to see what it is.
Remember,
um
she had the PFA. They have
Yes,
evidence.
you have the PFA. That's correct. She has the PFA. Now,
Mhm.
he could have easily gone for a PFA and didn't file one, right? Because he was feeling what, less than a man, depth
He,
himself. Maybe he was like,
he,
"Oh, I'm not
he
going
didn't
to
want to
file
get
one."
in trouble. He didn't want to get in trouble. He was in love with her.
Okay, okay,
He must have beat her up so bad to the point because her face was really messed up, Jason. I saw the
okay,
pictures. And
okay.
I can even do some homework on that too. But because I know cop friends and stuff like that. But the PFA is gonna go, it's definitely she's gonna win. She's definitely gonna win millions because of that PFA. That PFA is gonna be brought up. This is what happened. Well, even though it's not a felony towards that aspect, it's like, look what happened to her. He did not press charges. That's on him. It
Mm,
happens all the time.
okay.
Just like that person said, 17 times got stabbed, blah, blah, blah. They didn't press no charges. It
Wow.
happens.
Well,
Listen, let
like I
me ask
said,
you a question. Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Say you and your wife got into a fight. Your beautiful wife get into a fight, right? And you're toxicated. She's toxicated. Things are saying, words are going, whatever. Happens all the time. And she's like, screw you. And and she just slaps you. And then all of a sudden you just punch her. You just knock her out. Knock her out. She's on the floor. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm because it happens. Um, or vice versa. Would you press charges on your wife?
I can't imagine it happen, Lisa, so I can't even answer that question. That's what's so surprising about it. I can't see it. I'm not even wired that way. We were wired away back home when we came in, but we're not allowed to put our hand on a woman. This is from anything you wire into a child from such a young age. It becomes a part of them their whole life. So I can't even answer that question because I've never imagined something like that even possibly remotely happen. Not even as small as Toronto's over here. You there, Lisa?
Yeah, you were going off. You
No,
still.
no, I said I can't imagine something like that. So I don't even know how to answer a question like
Mhm.
that. But in really and truly in the case, I can't even answer it. I don't even have an answer for it. I mean, I can't even imagine me punching punching my wife and knocking her out.
Okay, your wife punches you. You have to answer yes or no. Would you press charges?
No, I wouldn't press charges. So maybe that's
See,
what's happening right now. I wouldn't press
see,
charges.
see, that's what happens.
Yeah. The first step
People
is
don't
talking it
press
over and see what
charges.
happens.
And you can have a wife and she's all goody goody in the beginning. All of a sudden, things start changing, and you have it wired for your children. You have it wired. It happens all the time. All of a sudden, she snaps because she's doing drugs. She's on meth. You don't even know, or she's popping pills. It happens.
Hmm.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hmm.
She start beating the crap out. Next thing you know, you're sleeping. She stabs you. What would you do?
Ah, I get it. I see what you're
You
saying now.
understand what
I
I
got
mean?
you.
And then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? I met a beautiful woman. She was my wife. I never thought she would do that. Blah blah blah. It happens. It happens. Any way you look at it, I don't care if even in your household that you wire it not to do it. It happens. Some women just can go on drugs just because they just they're
Listen,
depressed.
Lisa,
There's
maybe
something
he
going
made a
on with them
mistake by choosing
mentally.
a woman that's 23 years old, younger than he was. I mean, come on, dude. You got
Yeah,
kids almost as old as
yeah, yeah,
almost as old
yeah,
as his woman. So
yeah.
maybe that was his mistake. The generations are shifting.
Mhm.
They think differently. They don't think the same. Well, listen, it worked for some because remember Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, many years, right? And they were far apart in age also, and that
Yeah.
worked pretty well for them.
Very
So
well.
it's
Yes.
not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But I'm saying
Right.
maybe that was the case in this one. And then when you have all these substances that are in the middle of your marriage and they're controlling you one wire, controlling the other wire right there, there's not much you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're out of it, you don't even realize what's going on. You wake up the
Yeah.
next day and like, hey, what happened? You passed out. Because they're saying that he passed out on the island. He allegedly passed out on the island in front of kids and all this stuff. When you have all these controlled substance controlling you as an individual, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard for you to control yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Johnny Johnny Depp was never on drugs. If you could see the back movies, it's just
Yeah,
because when he became so famous, and he needed to stay up to make these movies that were popping and popping. He just started doing his thing to stay up and to be strong because it makes you powerful.
sure,
He's a powerful man as an
of course.
actor. He is, but the drugs made him more powerful because that's what it does to people. But then it's not good because it's not good for the relationship, especially if you're going to snap when you come home for your wife. Leave me alone. I want to be rested, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. It's just like you said, the age difference also, but that doesn't really have to have nothing to do with the age because age is just a number. I know people that are older and whatever, but it's just. Substance, you're on drugs or drink, especially drinking. When you're drinking or you're on drugs and you're popping pills or something, forget it. The man gets loose, or the
Yeah,
woman also
very
gets
true.
loose. I'm not just saying men. Women have done things to men too. What I have
No
seen in
doubt.
my life, my life being a cop and things like that. It's horrible.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey,
So,
Lisa. Well,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I want to do another live about this thing. I want to see. I'm waiting for Amber to jump on so I can I can make a more, like what a better decision as far as because I've seen him testify and I've seen a lot of the people that that were there, that was at the house, that were in Bahamas, that was part of that was like the psychiatrist. I saw a lot of that, so I'd like to see her jump on the stage in front of the people, see how she handles it. That's what I'm waiting on. That's what I'm waiting
Yeah.
on, and then I'll come on here and see. You know, hey, maybe we'll see a bombshell. Let's see how that
Mhm.
goes.
Remember, Ambi, not about a month ago. Remember the guy that shot killed a woman, the young couple that was
Yeah,
she was on a podcast and they were traveling, they were showing the world where they were at.
sure,
Remember them?
sure. Yeah, she was from
And
New York,
he
and
killed
then
her.
he's from Florida. I think they lived down in Florida.
Right? He killed
Yeah,
her, and then he went hiding in the jungle with all the
yeah.
alligators and blah
Down
blah
there in the
blah.
lake, down in
And
the yeah,
right.
with the
And they
alligators.
found his body in the notepad and the notebook, everything is in a notebook what happened.
Sure.
everything. Look what happened
Sure.
with them. They start becoming famous and YouTube,
Yeah.
and he killed her and just left her there. And then he went and hid, and then the alligators ate him. The water, they kept going past him, but he was
Sure.
under the water,
He was under the
and
water. Yeah.
the alligators and whatever chewed him up, and all they found was his shirt and things like that. Look what happened. Look, nobody would all know the truth, but that book that he has in that notepad, he wrote everything exactly what happened. He wrote it in the book that he killed her. It came out, you
Yeah,
know.
he told the story. Yeah, I heard that he told the story. The Gabby, what was his name? Gabby,
Gabby, that's it, Gabby. Right,
yeah,
right. You
Gabby,
see,
and yeah.
you
So I
see,
heard that. I
you
heard the
see,
story that he, and then he left himself over there in somewhere in some pond, some natural reserve or something down in Florida. Florida is nothing but water, a little bit of land, a lot of water, a lot of alligators rolling around. So
right. He thought that he
yeah,
could beat the forest because he was out there as a ROTC, whatever. But look at them. She didn't want to press charges. Did you see the cop interview? If any, what was it, Gabby, Abby, and whatever. If anybody wants to see the interview, there's a cop interview for an hour and 10 minutes. You will
hmm
see how the cops stopped them in the highway because they had a light off, and see the crying that she did when he got like when they took him. They say they
okay,
had to separate. They saw a scar on her face, and they separated each other. And
sure.
she was crying. She did not want to press charges. Look, the next day he killed her.
Yeah, I saw that. The Gabby Petito stopped when the cops separated them and then laundries. Yeah, I saw that.
Did
I
you
did
see
see that. A
how
lot of
they
people saw that
separated
because
them?
all of the national news were following it around. So
And and
we
what
will
did
see.
she do? What did she do? Cry and cried.
She
She didn't
cried.
want to separate. She wanted to
You're
be
right.
with him, even though she got beat up. She wanted to stay with him. She didn't care about the abuse. And
Yeah,
women stay in abusive relationships forever. Even when they get older, it's a shame. People still stay in abusive relationship forever. They don't care. Then one day
amazing.
something happens and they shoot each other, and it happens.
Amazing. Amazing. All
Yeah.
right, Lisa. Well, hey, I appreciate you this evening, man. Thanks again for calling in. I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
shut it
welcome.
down for
You're
today.
welcome.
We'll
I
jump on.
always support you. Always support you.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Hey, thanks to everyone that's been on here this evening. Thanks to everyone that's watching. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Remember to follow me on IG and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. All right, please support the channel. Lisa, we'll talk to you soon. All right, we'll see you
Always.
on the gram or one of those on social
See,
media.
see, see, see.
When is the next trip?
I'm leaving in 2 weeks.
All right, have a great time and we'll
I'm going.
have a great time and we'll talk
I'm
soon.
actually going to England.
You're going to England this time.
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay,
going to England. So we'll see London. So we'll see.
okay.
I have to
No,
kind of pull my hair back and just look like them. Somewhat.
okay. Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, no problem. Hey, do enjoy yourself. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks a lot for being a part of the show this evening, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Jason. I love your smile always.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you.
Bendición,
We'll talk
bendición.
to you soon. All
Bye.
right, bye guys.
Bye,
See you.
guys.
Thanks for
Bye.
checking in, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Yep. So that's it. Another show. Appreciate you guys being here with me this week. Like I said, please follow me on the gram. Don't forget, just add 81 to Jason Talks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the support. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Yeah, let's hope to get this a lot sooner than later. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot and have a great week. Remember, love those who love you and those who do not. Peace and love. And we'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.